Pay me, pay me, pay me my silver now. Pay me or go to jail. Pay me my silver now.
RoadToRuta.com. Yesterday I talked about Theta. Today I'm going to talk about silver. Those are the two number one assets I think everybody should have. Heavy concentration, especially silver, because it's 170 years of price suppression that's about to end. I don't look at price. I don't care about price. Price is irrelevant. Price is the price of silver derivatives traded on the Comex. It is a futures and options exchange. Has really nothing at all to do with the price of silver. Has 100% to do with the ability for the top 5-8 banks to price suppress the price of silver. And that's where we are. And that when you know that, you go out and buy at any price. It doesn't matter. What I do care about is the gold-silver ratio, though. Gold-silver ratio should be shocking to anybody who has invested in gold and silver and understands monetary metals. I mean, it is obvious that 84-1 right now, 84 ounces of silver for 1 ounce of gold is way too high. And it isn't that gold's overvalued, obviously. Every government on the planet is loading up on gold now. I do happen to think there's 10 times as much gold as they tell you, but that's completely irrelevant in this world we live in. Gold is traded on derivative market as well. Why do they let the price of gold go up, 3-4 times its all-time high from 1980 and not silver? Because the bankers have all the gold. I mean, it's pretty obvious. I would hope everybody sees that. The bankers don't have all the silver. Now, not to say that they won't be getting it. Russia's already announced they're going to do it. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you guys saw, but Russia follows U.S. footsteps. State deputy pushes for strategic Bitcoin reserve. Everybody who's been poo-pooing on the cryptos and Bitcoin are going to lose. You're not going to lose. You're just not going to gain with everybody else. Yeah, you have your gold and silver. Good on you. Hopefully you have more silver. But cryptos are the future. How long have we been screaming this? Once you understand them, once you let go of all your past notions of what cryptocurrency is, how could an electronic blip be scarce? And that's the beauty of the invention. Bitcoin is a way to transact in the future without banks. I would say Bitcoin is now more a store of value because the people who are in charge of the maintenance of the Bitcoin blockchain, they don't want anything to do with being a transactional type of cryptocurrencies. There's plenty of good ones for that. Litecoin, by the way, can do that wonderfully. I would argue that Theta and Theta Fuel are even better for that. Faster, cheaper, easy to work with. But as far as the deniers of crypto, guys, it's been 15 years since crypto was invented. At some point, you're going to have to get over it, or you're just going to be left in the dust. And a lot of people felt bad, and, I can't buy it at $100,000. I could have bought it at $10. Well, you're going to feel bad at $1 million Bitcoin, and $10 million Bitcoin, and $100 million Bitcoin. It's not necessarily the Bitcoin that changes. There's only going to be 21 million of them total. The last Bitcoin, last Satoshi, is going to be mined in 2130 or something like that, 100 years from now. Only 21 million. It's scarcity that matters. That's what the Road to Ruta documents out of the Fed, Boston, were all about. It's scarcity that matters. In the past, it was gold and silver as scarcity. But gold isn't really scarce. There's 10 times as much gold as they're saying. And that'll come out I think this year, 2025, or this coming year, it will be known that there's a lot more gold than what they said. It won't be known the total amount of gold. That's impossible to know. It's impossible to know. It is a mathematical certainty that there will only be 21 million Bitcoin. So it is absolutely more powerful to have that understanding of supply and demand with a fixed number, obviously. We don't know. I mean, we take our cues from guys like Jeffrey Christian on how much gold there is. It's just ridiculous. Even the guys that run the big gold companies or over at, you name it, whoever is pontificating about how much gold there is, they have no idea. They're guessing. Jeff Christian says, oh, yeah, minerals, Goldfield Minerals back in the 60s did the definitive study. Of who? Of the bankers who hold the gold. Of course they're going to. It's like De Beers diamonds. There's so many diamonds in the world, but they've had control, the monopoly of the price. Same thing with gold. The bankers and the rich, Rothschilds and Rockefellers have had all the gold. Now, the United States found massive amounts of gold in the Grand Canyon, up and down the Colorado River. There's placer gold all over, billions and billions and billions of ounces. You're not allowed to touch it. It's in little specks. They were trying to mine it. There was a mini gold rush in the 1920s. I wouldn't say mini, I'd say big. The problem is they set the price of gold too low, so it wasn't economical to mine it. And now with a freely traded gold price, yeah, it's economical to mine those billions of ounces, but that's not all they found. There are secret caves of gold in the Grand Canyon that the U.S. military guards. I have it on good authority. A very trusted person I know has been in that area, has been to the military base within the Grand Canyon that nobody talks about, nobody knows about. No, people know. Not you, not me, not the regular schmoes up here. Anyway, back to silver. Yes, buy as much physical silver in your own possession. We're talking about the end of 180 years of silver price suppression. That does not end with a $51 price of silver. It doesn't end with a $600 price of silver. It doesn't end with a $6,000 price of silver. It probably ends with a gold-silver ratio somewhere around 3-to-1 or probably 1-to-1. Silver's so much more important than gold. But at 85-to-1, this is a gift, an absolute gift. You look at look at all the data, at least on this chart from the 1970s. Right down here, it got back to 16-to-1, which was the historical average. Back in 1980, when silver those damn Hunt brothers, they almost cornered the silver market with 100 million ounces of physical and 110 million ounces of Comex contracts. That was their problem. They got on the Comex, which is a fake exchange run by fake people, run by our fake government. And they got pushed out. Price of silver has been put on computer programs invented by Alan Greenspan in the 1970s, and that's where we sit today. A click of a mouse, the price of silver can go to $1 million an ounce or negative $40 an ounce because it's all derivatives. Everything's about derivatives. 3 quadrillion in derivatives are holding this system together. When those go, it's all gone. There's no more checking, no more savings, no more stock accounts. Nobody will know who owns what. Then they'll go running to Reggie Middleton and say, oh, help us restart the system. We're waiting on that one. Anyway, all right. So silver is currently above moving averages. Every time it ticks below this 100-day moving average, that's this yellowish, orangish line right here. Every time it ticks below, India loads up, literally loads up on physical silver, takes delivery, and brings it in-house. They are going to do, I estimate, 280 to 300 million ounces of silver imported. If they go over 300 million ounces, and this is a single year, we only mine 820 million ounces, maybe 830. Nobody really knows that number, too, because you got another criminal organization, the Silver Institute, working with Metals Focus to tell you what the real numbers are, and they lie. They flat out lie. Flat out. And they change historical numbers. I mean, how obvious can it get? Anyway, get your physical silver. Get it in your own possession. Don't look at the price. Keep an eye on the gold-silver ratio, though. I think gold will double from here. Go to, say, $6,000 when it's freely traded, and then, we'll see where it goes from there. Silver will go 600. What is that? 20x? Would you rather double your money or 20 times your money and then take all your silver and buy all the gold again? If you're a gold bug, you're selling all your gold right now at 84-to-1. You're selling all your gold and you're just absolutely stockpile full of silver. Because you know that gold-silver ratio is going to change to what's above ground. It's 1-to-1, by the way, above ground. Or the mining ratio. It's 7-to-1 coming out of the ground. It's not going to stay at 84-to-1. And so when you swap your gold for silver, and then all of a sudden we have rational markets, you can go back and swap the silver for gold, and you're going to wake up and say, oh my God, I have 10 times as much as gold as I had when I did my swap. 10 times. Wouldn't you gold bugs like 10 times the amount of gold? And I'm not the guy who invented this at all. I remember Jim Sinclair talking, Mr. Gold, the gold bug, talking about this. Hey, if you love gold, buy as much silver as you can. Because in a bull run, that silver's going to run. And oh, by the way, when 170 years of price suppression ends, look out above. But it's got to be physical metal, and it's got to be in your own possession. Everything else, you are risking it. It's at risk. When that derivative bubble goes, good night. We might not even survive it. I have no idea. It's never happened before because the world's never been on an unbacked fiat monetary system. The entire globe is bought into the bullshit. All right. Now, where can you get your silver? Your local coin shop. I've been screaming this. How long have I been on the air here? YouTube since 6-7 years, but I've had the Road to Ruta webpage, and I've been writing about it since 2000. Well, I was writing for GATA, Bill Murphy and the gang, back in 2000 is when I started the Road to Ruta website, did my own blog from 2010, and it's still going strong. Everything kind of moved over to the video stuff about 5-6 years ago, and it's the same message. It is the exact same message I had from the very beginning. There are people behind the scenes working to take out the banking cabal. This is long before Q, long before the good guys, the white hats, were even talked about. How did I figure it out? In 2007, I found documents at the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston. I was doing research for GATA, the Gold Antitrust Action Committee. I found documents showing exactly what's going on, and it's in the form of a frickin' comic book and a teacher's guide to that comic book. The comic book was called Wishes and Rainbows. It came out originally in 1981 when Reagan had the Gold Commission going. And what does it do? It talks about scarcity and how we have to go back to a gold standard. This is the Fed. And then the people behind this guy named Stephen DeBow, guy who adapted the comic book, was a computer programmer for the Federal Reserve for years. And then he went to start then he went to all these banks to implement the trading programs. This is not undiscoverable territory. We discovered it. Computer programs are running the system. Long before high-frequency trading, this was all done out of the Exchange Stabilization Fund, using the Fed, using the quote, bullion banks to rig the markets to control the entire system. And it's not just gold and silver. It's oil, it's wheat, it's corn, it's milk. There is nothing traded on the derivative contract in the derivative world that is not 100% controlled, which includes Bitcoin. The worst thing that could ever happen was the Bitcoin ETFs and Bitcoin futures and options. Yeah, I get it. Oh, Bix, it's got to go mainstream. The problem is mainstream's going to crash and shut down. These banks are not long for this world. What's going to happen to the price of Bitcoin when all the banks start liquidating every Bitcoin they bought? I mean, that's my only real beef about Bitcoin is all the banks are going to sell it. They're going to be required to sell whatever they bought because they have to stay solvent. All their other bullshit has gone to the wayside. Now, the U.S. buying Bitcoin is a different deal. The U.S. government. The Russian government buying Bitcoin is a different deal. The El Salvadorian government buying Bitcoin is a different deal. They don't have to liquidate their assets. Jamie Dimon buying Bitcoin, yeah, it's a big deal. He's got a hell of a lot more assets out there than all just the Bitcoin he's got. And he's going to have to liquidate, starting with the most liquidatable, Bitcoin. I mean, they're going to be dumping their Bitcoin. So what happens to everything else? They don't own any. I don't think they own any Ethereum. They might. But the other cryptos are going to fare very well, but you're not going to see price. When all this happens, you're not going to look at, I'm looking at CoinMarketCap. CoinMarketCap, where do they get their prices? From the exchanges. Do the exchanges deal in fiat money? Absolutely. You think Coinbase is going to be up and running when the system breaks down, when the banks go away? It's not. You won't know the price. There's some decentralized exchanges out there, okay. But will even the internet be running when all this shit falls down? I don't know. That's why you have to have both physical metal in your own possession, silver number one, silver 100%. I have one, I still hung on to one gold coin. That's it. Everything else has been swapped. Swap for silver. It's obvious. Andy Scheckman does that, by the way. If you're looking to swap your gold for silver, contact Andy Scheckman. I think he only charges you on one side of the trade. So the commission just on one side of that. Other places will charge, it's 5% coming in, 5% going out. I don't know what the percentages are. Don't quote me on that. Contact Andy Scheckman. info@milesfranklin.com and say, I want to swap all 100% of my gold for silver. And then will you facilitate the swap back when the market regulates and it's 1-to-1 silver to gold ratio? And they'll do it. All right. So right now, the biggest thing that's going on, I know not many people are talking about it, something massive is going on in the silver market. They don't talk about it because everybody's looking at the price. It's staying around $30, no big deal. Massive amounts of exchange for physicals are happening on the Comex. These are contracts bought on the futures and options market, sent over to London for delivery, physical delivery. Physical delivery in London. This is right here, this EFP. 3,326, this is just yesterday, 3,326 contracts. Each contract is $5,000, so that's what, around 16 million? 16.5 million ounces in a single day called for delivery. Harvey Organ does a great job tracking this. We are already at, what is it, the 11th, 10th or 11th? What is today? The 11th, December 11th. Let's just say about a third through the month. There have already been, so he's got 73 plus the 15, 89 million ounces of silver demanded for the delivery in the first 10 days of December in London. This is not your average JP Morgan taking silver. This is not your average Joe Schmoes. This is India, China, and Russia saying, screw you, Western world. We know your weak spot. Your weak spot is physical silver, and we're going to take every ounce and more. So right now, they're on track to do the largest exchange for physical month in the history of the Comex, in the history of the LBMA, which was 209 million in a single month was the number. And that was back in March of 2022. That was massive. And right now we're on track to do about 250 million ounces in a single month exchange for physical. Where do you think India gets it all? Where do you think China gets it all? Where do you think Russia gets it all? Russia's got to fill up their coffers because they're using silver as a strategic reserve. Where are you going to get the silver? This is how they're getting it. This is the end of the end. This is the end game for silver manipulation. Everything's going to crack, I think, before the inauguration of Trump. And then Trump will manage the bankruptcy of the Western world, at least for the United States. All right, that's where we are. Here we go. Russia follows U.S. footsteps. State deputy pushes for strategic Bitcoin reserve. Every country on the planet is going to start a crypto reserve if the system stays intact. Even after. They know that's a standalone asset. If they hold the Bitcoin in their own possession, you can have a meltdown of the whole globe. You still have your Bitcoin. When the system gets up and running again, you'll have all the wealth in the world. You'll have excellent cryptos in your own possession. You'll have gold and silver. I don't know what the world's going to choose. I do know there's going to be no quantum financial system. There'll be no XRP to save the world. That's the biggest joke ever. You've been conned, you XRP people. XRP won't even have a use case after the banks collapse. Oh, yeah. I mean, all the crypto people, you should know at heart. What are you in it for? It's for the end of the banking system. We can create our own way forward. And so why would you invest in something that perpetuates the banking system? I don't know. Anyway, Bitcoin up above 100,000. $100,000 parties coming up. I don't know how high Bitcoin will go in this run. It's probably, at least till the end of next year, it's going to keep running. 250, 300,000 per Bitcoin. I don't know. I think a better opportunity is in Theta. Why? Because Theta is the backbone of the future of the internet. If you enjoy your life on the internet, it will not work without Theta. And I was screaming yesterday, buy Theta, buy Theta. It went down to $2.16. Yesterday, I'm screaming, buy Theta, buy Theta. And a lot of people did. And now we're up to 265 already and moving. Theta will go into the thousands at some point in the future, no doubt about it. This run, probably 35 to 50 is my estimate by the end of the year, which is a 10x from here, from right here. And oh, by the way, did you listen to the AMA yesterday or this weekend? Ask me anything. The number one priority of Theta Labs next year, and they have been putting this off for a very long time since its creation. Number one authority is to get listed on a U.S. exchange. I mean, they were literally seconds away from getting listed on Coinbase, 5, 6 years ago? And now it's going to happen. So how many people in the U.S., 330 million or something like that, will have access with a click of a mouse to buy Theta? And oh, by the way, if you're into Theta, there's a Theta fuel ratio that's out of whack as well. It's like 30, I'll tell you right now. It's at, right here, 33 to 1. That will come down to 10 to 1, at least. Maybe even what they're available at, which is 10.6. Let's look at T-Fuel. Yep, 10.7. There's 6.7 billion T-Fuel out there, and that is the operational money of the Theta ecosystem. Theta ecosystem is sharing of broadband, sharing of hard drives. It's an iCloud working with Amazon and Google and Microsoft. Literally, that's just another thing that Theta invented over the past few years and patented. Not to mention the content delivery network and the NFTs and subchains. You can create your own blockchain approved on the Theta network for companies like, name it, Apple Computer. Big companies that are getting into crypto want their own token for their merchandise and stuff like that. But you can't have that where you're the one approving transactions. You're the one who can change the blockchain. Nobody would trust it. That's one of the inventions at Theta. You can make an Amazon coin on the Theta blockchain, and it will go through the Theta dual approval mechanism, instant transactions, or I don't know what the latency, 3 seconds or something like that to do a Theta transaction. It costs you a little, less than a penny. No, it's 3 cents right now. 3 cents per transaction. You look at Ethereum, holy crap. I have paid so much in Ethereum transaction fees. It's brutal. We were giving away one Veritasium token and having to pay the equal amount of Ethereum just to move it onto a paper wallet. Crazy. And that it's improved, but that's not the future. I don't think the top. Let's just look at it right now. Let's get down to the nuts and bolts. The top 3 cryptos, Bitcoin, we know what Bitcoin is. It's going to be a store of value. Every country's going to own it. Every person's going to own it. That's their savings account. Ethereum is the operational token for the network of businesses that can be built upon it. You can do the exact same thing with Theta. Now, Theta says, hey, we don't claim to be the Ethereum killer, and they've shown they've got very little interest in taking over from Ethereum, but they could. It's the same. It's so easy to transport everything that's on Ethereum over to Theta. So if Ethereum goes away for regulatory issues or whatever it is, Theta's there to take the spot. And then there's XRP, the big Swift system con. So let's just say right now Theta's like number 57 in market cap out of all the cryptos. They were number 10. I think there's a concerted effort to keep it out of the hands of the American people right now, but when it comes to America, I think it'll go in the top 5, probably the top 3. Let's just say it goes into the top 3 and boots XRP out of the way. I did a little quick calculation that just today, with today's prices, XRP at $2.42, Theta at $2.65. But remember, there's a hell of a lot more XRP out there. The current XRP market cap is $138 billion. The Theta market cap wait, sorry. is 138 million. The Theta market cap is 2.6 million. When Theta gets to the top 3, it'll be worth 53 times what it is right now. And I think it deserves to be there right now with what it does compared to what XRP does. So right now, it should be $139 per token. Right now. That's not counting all the stuff that's going to happen as the bull market of Bitcoin and the cryptos explodes over 2025, especially with the regulators. Oh my God. What would be there is talk that the Trump crypto people are going to say, bring your crypto company to America. You registered in America and we'll charge no capital gains on your tokens. That's how many crypto companies would just come flooding into the United States? All of them. And how many crypto companies are already here that are U.S. companies? Bitcoin doesn't have a company. Cryptocurrencies don't need a company. Crypto tokens that are doing something, you need a company for the most part. There's very few, actually. Very few who have done it the right way, filed the right documents, didn't ICO. XRP is still in its ICO phase. It's ICOing forever. Theta Labs. That's the beauty of it. It has kept it out of the spotlight, but at the same time, for good reason. Now, the guys at Theta Labs know it. 2025, they're gonna list on a U.S. exchange, and once one exchange takes it, all of them will. There's only 3 big ones, really: Coinbase, Kraken. Well, there's a couple other ways. Coinbase, Kraken, Gemini are the 3 big ones. Robinhood. Imagine Robinhood getting Theta and Theta Fuel, especially Theta Fuel, if you're playing the ratio game. Very exciting times as the world falls apart. Now, we might not know any of this as the system falls apart. There will be a lot of things unknown. That's why you have to have it in your own possession. Just keep it in your own possession. If it's smooth sailing, that's great. Your cryptos are going to go right to the moon. The U.S. dollar is going to implode. There's Michael Saylor's talking about a lot of different ways that the U.S. can change its stars using cryptos. How about a U.S. stable coin? A U.S. government stable coin where they print the... That's the other thing. These stable coin companies are ridiculous. Does Tether have the money behind the scenes? It didn't for a long time, and then it did. But Tether's deep state crypto. Ooh. The people involved with Tether, stay away. Stay far away. Get your good cryptos, get it in your own possession, and you will survive and thrive in the new year. All right, so yesterday I was talking about soccer. What a great sport it is. A lot of people say, soccer, no, they don't score any goals, blah, 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 blah. It is the greatest sport in the world by far, and I've been screaming that. My son played professional soccer for like 5 or 6 years. As a matter of fact, and I'm going to show you this, some people have already seen it, he scored the fastest goal in U.S. professional soccer history. It was in League One competition, which is a professional soccer. They don't pay much at all, room and board type of payment. They give you a little money. But he has, faster than MLS, faster than any other league in the United States, the fastest goal. 7 seconds. And it was filmed, and I'm going to show it to you right now. Here he is. His name is Tarn. He's right up here at the top. Check this out.
Lorenzo Hernandez is our head official. After 2.5 extra hours of waiting, we're underway. It's Tucson and Union Omaha. And they're going to try to get this thing going quickly! Right out the gate, like lightning struck on the pitch. FC Tucson score! Like a blur, it's Tarn Weir scoring the fastest goal in USL League One history. Kickoff. One person, one pass, and then a one-touch shot. Whack! Tarn Weir with his first goal of the season. How about that on the right shirt replay?
Yes, I was a very proud papa. Here's the problem. There was nobody in the stands because there was a lightning delay. It's like 2 hours of waiting for this game, and they had everybody go home because of the in Tucson, they have a lot of lightning. Anyway, that is they said fastest goal in U.S. One. That's a professional league in America history. It's actually the fastest goal out of all the professional leagues in America. It's also, little known fact, it was 7 seconds. It's number 28 in the world. The 28th fastest goal in professional soccer history. Anyway, that's the fun I have. Anyway, you guys, I'm jumping in and out during the holidays. There's a lot going on right now. We're all trying to secure our stance so that we can survive what's coming. Number one thing, have friends and family close by. And get ready to pool your resources. If you live in big cities, if you have a bug out place, be ready to go on a minute's notice. I don't know. Nobody knows what's going to happen. Never before in the history of humanity has the entire world been on a unbacked fiat monetary system. This is the first time in history, completely unbacked since 1971, but pretty much since 1913, right after the discovery of all the gold in the Grand Canyon, which would have destroyed the monetary system back then. There was only, 300 million ounces in the world known of gold back then. And they found billions and billions of ounces in the Grand Canyon in the early 1900s. That's why it's locked up. That's why you can't go exploring in the Grand Canyon. All those things that look like Egyptian pyramids and statues and stuff in the Grand Canyon, most likely they are. We've done a lot of remote viewing. They're named after all the Egyptian gods. Yes, the Grand Canyon has. Go check it out. It's really interesting stuff. There'll be more coming out about this. Everything's going to be revealed very soon. So hang tight. If you want to join the private road at roadtoruta.com, go to Road to Ruta, click on subscribe today right here. And we're currently giving away 5 Theta, 50 T-Fuel, and 500 T-Drop loaded on paper wallet with every private road subscription. We do giveaways all the time. Some of them worked out great. I mean, we were giving away 0.1 Bitcoin back in the day. That's now worth $10,000. I think the subscription was only $199 back then. That's a good bargain, huh? But I think Theta is going to do the same thing. It's $299 for a year. If you want to do it, great. And that gives you access to everything. We are not selling cryptos. People say, well, I want to buy some cryptos. Go to Caleb and Brown if you want to buy cryptos. If you don't know how to do it, go to Coinbase. Just buy some cryptos. You can get Theta at Caleb and Brown. Next year, you'll be able to get Theta in the U.S. on Coinbase. Because once Gemini does it, obviously Coinbase is doing it. The guys at Theta Lab said Coinbase, it might not be the first one. I think they're bluffing. Again, I think Coinbase is going to load up on, I think that's part of the reason it went down, so the exchanges can get more Coinbase to have a liquidity in the market. Because once it gets on an exchange, I don't know how high it can go, truthfully. Quadruple? 3 or 4 times? I don't know. It's the number one crypto in it's got the number one use case. And there's many use cases, but there's no better use case for a crypto token out there that I have seen. Nothing even comes close. So anyway, roadtoruta.com. Click on subscribe today. This is Bix Weir. I'll talk to you later.